Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been really good, and today we're talking about a lot of juicy stuff. So to start off, we're going to be looking at the Dallas Fuel. So Jayne was streaming earlier today, and he did end up leaking some information. Now, he didn't leak exact information on who they're looking to trade or who they're going for, but he did leak that the Dallas Fuel are in trade discussions. And there is a ton to talk about when it comes to trade discussions for the Dallas Fuel. And there's definitely a lot of roles that need to be filled on this Dallas Fuel roster going into Season 2. And I definitely think Dallas Fuel has a lot of trading potential, especially with some players who didn't really play too much last season, who might still be hungry to prove themselves that other teams would be willing to give a shot. So we're going to dive all up into the Dallas Fuel, what players they can trade, who they can possibly get, what roles they need to improve on, what other teams would be interested in possibly trading with them, so much, guys. And we just got a new Overwatch map, guys. It's from Busan, Korea, and I do think Busan is the next target for an Overwatch League spot. We're going to take a look at that map and talk about why I think Busan is definitely the next target for an Overwatch League city. And that's going to be the video, guys. We're talking about some really fun topics. If you can't wait to watch it, be sure to pause it real quick, go down below, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Every like really does help me out, and I appreciate it. As well as that, if you're new around here and you haven't already, and you just enjoy Overwatch League, Overwatch World Cup content, be sure to click that red subscription box. I upload multiple videos every single day, so you guys can stay updated on all the news, the drama, whatever it is, boys. Hit that button, join the family, and now without further ado, let's hop into this video. Alright, so earlier, as I said, Jayne was streaming, and he did leak something with Dallas Fuel and trades. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
There was like singing or something. I was there for just a moment. Nope. No, you are not.
Oh, come on, Jayne. Why'd you have to notice that notification? You could have gave us the juicy leaks. Oh, it's so unfortunate. By the way, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, maybe some of you missed it. On the top left, Jayne got a Discord notification from Aero, the head coach of the Dallas Fuel, saying he was going to dump all of their trade discussion in a specific channel on Discord. Again, unfortunately, Jayne did notice the Discord message, and he was like, nope. We're not going to show that. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the actual trade details, but this does show that the Dallas Fuel are in trade talks. And this has me really excited because I do think the Dallas Fuel are definitely looking to make some decent changes to their roster going into Season 2. Now, of course, Stage 4, they looked great. With Aero coming in as the new head coach, the team looked completely revitalized. But they still need to make some changes in order to improve for Season 2. And I definitely think I have a good idea on what the Dallas Fuel are going to be doing over this trade season, because there are some specific areas on this roster that definitely need to be improved. So they did just recently lose Seagull, and he was definitely instrumental in their team and their success in Stage 4. So they need someone to replace Seagull. So they're definitely going to be looking for another flex player in the league, somebody who can play a wide variety of heroes, not only just projectile, but potentially even tracer, because we don't know how well Effect is doing right now. He could potentially end up starting for Season 2. He could potentially end up not starting for Season 2. We don't know what he's doing, so he's kind of like a big question mark. So I could definitely see the Fuel wanting to look for someone who could potentially back up Effect, just in case he doesn't end up playing or he runs into more issues. That would be the smart thing to do. And I could also even see them trying to trade Effect over for something pretty big. And I'll talk about like a super trade that the Dallas Fuel can do later on. But for now, let's go ahead and continue to focus on areas that they need to improve on that I definitely think they will try to trade for. So DPS wise, they definitely want someone really flexible who can potentially play Tracer. Now, looking at other issues this team might want to fix over the offseason, we're definitely going to look at their supports. So we have Chips high-end and Harry Hook, who definitely underperformed in Season 1. Yeah, both of them did have, you know, a little bit better play in Stage 4, specifically Chips, but still throughout the season, it was a very underwhelming performance from them. So I could definitely see the Dallas Fuel wanting to go out there and get another support player. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was somebody that they wanted to take over full-time, or it could even be somebody to come in and just split time with Harry Hook Chips, and they'll figure out who the best player is going into Season 2, because there still is a chance that Harry Hook and Chips could be good starters in the the Overwatch League. And the same goes for a lot of these players on this roster. And that was shown with Taimu, who was really struggling in the first 3 stages of the Overwatch League. He was playing Winston, he looked awful. He played DPS, he looked awful. The only thing he was really competent on was his Roadhog. But besides that, it was just terrible play from Taimu. And then going into stage 4, that completely changed because maybe the environment got better, circumstances just overall were improved, and because of that, Taimu was a much better player, and we kind of seen that for Chips, not as much as we did for Taimu, but what I'm saying is going into Season 2, with even more drastic changes, Chips and Harryhook could still be really good players, and definitely suitable for an Overwatch League team, because prior to the Overwatch League, they were both really good, just like Taimu. And now going back to the trade discussion, so if the Dallas Fuel wanted to look to trade Chips and Harryhook, I don't know how much they could get for them because again, like they really didn't prove themselves in the first 3 stages. They looked okay in stage 4, but not enough to where you can actually get a pretty good player for them, at least in the trade where it's like 1 player for 1 player. Like I could see a situation where maybe Philadelphia Fusion would trade Jayne for Harryhook, something like that, but you're not going to be able to trade these players for all-stars. Somebody who would like 100% no matter what help your team improve. You might as well just stick with Harryhook instead of trading him for Jayne. You would have to tie in Harryhook and Chips with somebody like Effect to try to get some really good trades. And as I said, that's definitely something we're going to talk about later, a super trade between the Dallas Fuel. And now the last thing I could see them doing is definitely picking up an off tank. So Mickey during Season 1 was pretty much a terrible diva. And I find it crazy how some people will continue to argue and say that Mickey was a great diva in the first 3 stages. It's mind-blowing. Guys, he was so lost. And like, I'm not even trying to like bring Mickey down or be a dick. I love Mickey. He's a great guy. He's super nice. But he looked lost. He was not doing the things he needed to do. Go look at a random match from stage 1 all the way to stage 3 that Mickey was playing diva in. He was all over the place. You could tell that he never had like a specific objective that he wanted to focus on, and that means he never really got anything done for the team. He was very inefficient. And it is good to be all over the place as diva, but you have to be really specific. You need to be like, no, you need to make sure you're constantly using your matrix in the right spots. Mickey was never protecting his backline. Sure, Chips played bad during the first 3 stages, but he didn't have protection from Mickey ever. So Mickey's backline play wasn't the best. And then you look at his aggressive play when he was communicating and working with the main tank on the team, he was still all over the place. He was never, especially when XQC and Taimu were in there, which was for the first couple stages, Mickey was never with them. It seemed like he was always off doing his own thing. Now maybe that was a problem with XQC and Taimu as well, but obviously Mickey did not do a good job at following his main tank, making sure he kept them healthy and alive, which is one of the easiest jobs as a diva. You literally just follow your main tank. And since he wasn't really diving and following the main tank, keeping him alive and helping in the front line, you would have expected him to be really good in the back line, keeping his supports alive, but he wasn't doing that either, so it was just really weird. That's pretty much what I mean by like he was lost and all over the place, not really doing any jobs. Now, I don't think all hope is lost in Mickey. Maybe if we did see him coached under Aero playing diva in Season 2, he could be better. There's a good chance that could actually happen. And then obviously because they did lose Seagull, he was their main diva player for stage 4 and he was incredible. So they're going to need a diva moving into Season 2. And that's even if they decide to keep Mickey. They're still going to need a diva in my opinion for Season 2. I could see Mickey still staying on this roster 100%. His Brigitte was insane in stage 4. He was definitely a top 3 Brigitte player, probably even top 2 and giving Prophet a run for his money at the best Brigitte in the league. Michael mentioned Prophet. He's your boyfriend. Oh, I love you guys. Anyways, so Mickey, clearly one of the best Brigittas in the league for at least stage 4, so I see no reason for them wanting to get rid of him, unless they get a really good opportunity to trade him for a great player in both Brigitte and Diva. We'll just have to see, but those are the major 3 roles that Dallas Fuel are going to be looking to improve on going into the next season. They're great for hit scans. They have Taimu and AKM, so they don't really need to pick up a hit scan specialist. They need that flex DPS player and tracer. For what Dallas Fuel seem to be struggling with the most in the first season, their main tank play, they seem to be in a solid spot with that now. Having OGE, he's a great player. And then again, for the off-tank role, they're definitely going to want to work on that area since they did lose Seagull, and then Mickey's not the best diva. And then moving on to supports, they have Unko. He's a great player. He performed very well in stage 4. Even in stage 3, he looked pretty decent when the Dallas Fuel were still struggling. So no need to mess with the flex support. He's golden. But for the main supports, definitely Harryhook and Chipshaven, potentially trade them away, potentially look to just get an upgrade. And overall, I think that's mainly what Dallas Fuel are looking at in this trade season. I wouldn't be surprised if some news started to come out over the next couple weeks about them. So then let's go ahead and talk about what they could potentially do. Now, with those 3 areas that they want to work on, that means Harry Hook, Chips, Mickey, and Effect could all potentially go up for trade. Now, the first team that comes to mind that could possibly help out the Dallas Fuel in multiple areas is the Seoul Dynasty. Now, despite Effect having a really weird season, completely up and down, and showing that he has severe attitude issues, I still think he is worth a lot, and that Seoul Dynasty would potentially be willing to trade a lot for him. So looking at Seoul Dynasty during the first season, I think they struggled with Tracer play. That's fair to say. If Fleta stayed at his peak throughout the entire season, and then they had a deadly confident Tracer like Effect, I think Seoul Dynasty would have made the playoffs. I think Wakid, Munchkin, and Bunny, who they had for some of the season, was pretty inconsistent and never all-stars. If they had Effect, they would have been better 100%. I think we could all agree on that. I also think Effect would be better in an environment where everybody is Korean and they all speak his language. And I think 100% Seoul Dynasty would be willing to give up somebody like Zephyr for Effect. That could be a 1-for-1 trade no matter what. Boom, Dallas Fuel just completely upgraded in their off-tank area. They're golden. Now all they need to do is find a Tracer from another team. Or what they could potentially do is, now I don't know if this would work, but they could try to tie in somebody like Effect and Mickey, or look to do a 3-way trade with another team. Because the problem with Seoul Dynasty is they're all Korean. There's no way they would want somebody like Harry Hook or Chips. Potentially Mickey, I don't know how that would work out. He could be a great guy to add to the environment. His Korean might be decent. He is Asian. He's from Thailand. So like I could possibly see him maybe working on the Seoul Dynasty as like a back player just to help the environment and keep everybody happy. That's definitely a stretch though, and probably won't happen. So we would need to add a 3rd team into this trade, or Dallas Fuel would just need to try to trade with somebody else in order to get that Tracer, which what team comes to mind is Philadelphia Fusion, who has an extra Tracer player and an extra flex player. So somebody that the Dallas Fuel could look to go for is Shadowburn or Snillo, who would both completely help out this roster. But then again, we're kind of in a situation where the Dallas Fuel don't really have anything that the Philadelphia Fusion want, aside from maybe Chips Hayen, because, you know, Boombox kind of underperformed. It would be nice to have a backup for him, just in case things get hairy again. But this is where a 3-way trade would come in handy. Philadelphia Fusion, they have a lot of Korean players, and potentially maybe they would want to send somebody like Hotba over to Seoul Dynasty. Since Seoul Dynasty would potentially be losing somebody like Zephyr, they would want to keep another off-tank and have a backup guy. And Seoul Dynasty potentially has a lot of things that Philadelphia Fusion could use, like somebody to back up Boombox, like Guido, who, you know, sky is the limit. Maybe he could be a good pick, and that's somebody I could see Philadelphia Fusion definitely wanting to give a try. Who knows? Probably none of these players will get traded, but there's definitely potential that these players could be traded and work out on other teams. All right, so this is like, I have this crazy trade in my head going, and it kind of makes sense. Now I'm going to say it to you guys, it might not make full sense, but I'm just going to say it, whatever. So, okay, I had to write this whole thing down because I was getting confused. This is pretty much it. Dallas Fuel gives Philadelphia Mickey and Chips. Dallas Fuel also gives Seoul Dynasty Effect. In return, Philadelphia Fusion gives Dallas Snillo, and then Seoul Dynasty gives Dallas Zephyr. So everybody here wins. Seoul Dynasty basically trades Zephyr for Effect. Philadelphia Fusion trades Snillo for Chips Hayen and Mickey. And then Seoul Dynasty obviously get Effect. I honestly feel like this is a very fair trade for everyone. And if Dallas would potentially want Shadowburn, maybe they could throw in a little bit more here. The only like kind of hole in this trade where I could see it maybe not working out is Philadelphia Fusion wanting a little bit more for Snillo. And you know, if that is the case, maybe they can throw in somebody else like Coco, like ACAM, or even some money, because when you trade, you can also use money as a factor. And I think money would definitely be the easiest way to get Snillo or even get Shadowburn. Just throw in a big old check and say, yep, send them our way and we're golden. So I could definitely see a trade like this going down. You guys let me know in the comments if you think it's possible. I know it's a little wild, but it makes sense in my head. So, and that's just one version. There's so many types of trades that could happen between these 3 teams or any other team in the league. Sky is the limit. It really is. And that's pretty much it for the Dallas Fuel. Let me know down in the comments if you guys enjoyed this part of the video, who you think the Dallas Fuel are going to be trading for. And now let's go ahead and just dive into the last topic, which is Busan. So guys, a new map just came out, and if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been, but this is what it looks like. It's a control map. It seems very cool. I'm definitely always excited for new maps and to see how they work in the Overwatch League, how players play them, what's the meta on them. There's just so many questions when a new map comes in. It's kind of the situation we're in right now with the World Cup and Rialto. Like, I'm just learning about that map because I haven't really played it in the actual game, so it's new to me competitively, and it does look very fun. We're getting exciting matches, especially Finland versus South Korea. That one was spectacular. So new maps are always fun. But the main thing we actually want to talk about here is Busan, Korea getting a spot in the Overwatch League. Now, I've been a strong advocate for the past month or so, saying that Busan is definitely going to get a team, and I think they deserve a team. Now, I don't know if Overwatch adding a map called Busan or from Busan, Korea has any correlation to an Overwatch League spot or not, but for Korea being the capital of esports of the entire world, I think only having one team is kind of bad, especially considering the entire league is made up of like 60% Korean players. Maybe not 60%, I don't know the exact number, but it's like 50 or something. It's way up there. There's a lot of Korean players, and the best teams in the league are pretty much Korean. So you would expect South Korea to have more than one team, and it just makes sense that Busan is going to have a spot. And I'm willing to bet my left leg that they will get a spot, and that it's probably going to be a full team of Koreans from Korea contenders. Someone like Runaway, X6 Gaming, maybe a mixture of those two. But Busan is definitely the next target for an Overwatch League team. I'm just waiting for it to get leaked by somebody like Slasher. Whoever wants to give us the juice, we're ready to take it and sip on that shit. And talking about other cities real quick, we got Toronto, we got Paris, we got Atlanta, and then we got Guangzhou, China, and Busan will be the 5th, and that leaves one very last spot. And I have a feeling it's going to be somewhere in Europe. If it's not, I'd be a little confused. It's not going to be Melbourne. By the way, I don't think I talked about this in one of my videos, but that source or leak that came out from Halo of Thoughts about Melbourne getting a team for Season 2, apparently they were more in talks about Season 3. So I don't really know if it was a legit reporting at the beginning, if he was just trying to get some clicks. Who knows? I'm not going to accuse him of anything, but Season 3 Melbourne apparently is going to be a target. And I could definitely see that happening. Anyways, let me know down below about this video if you enjoyed it, which city in the Overwatch League might get a team, if you think the new map is awesome, and of course, anything and everything about Dallas Fuel and who they might trade for. And that's it, guys. If you're new around here, you know the deal. Drop a like on the video. Click the red subscription box if you haven't already. What are you doing, man? Daily Overwatch League content every single day. We on the grind. And that's it. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.